whatever he gets because he thinks he's not worth more. You accept them with gratitude and say, you know what, you're my master, thank you because I was nothing before.
The first time I held a camera, I was at my aunt's wedding and I was 7. Well, it wasn't my first time, but it was my first time holding one on my own. I'd watched my dad wield them for so long that I wanted nothing more than to film something for myself. My dreams would be realized when my dad put a camera in my hand and told me, go ahead. I went ahead to infinity and beyond. You should have seen me running all over the venue, getting angles, shots, everything I could imagine in a mind that was finally running free. I remember looking back at my father smirking as if to say, look, Dad, so can I. By the end, I handed him that camera with a chest held high, smiling. I liked the feeling of lights finding my father's eyes as he looked over the work his son had done. But unfortunately, that feeling was foreign for me when my father smiled, then chuckled, then laughed and said, you forgot to press record.
Tomorrow he finds out that he's royal to anything comes. Yes. Because no, I can't tell him anymore that I rescued you from.
I thought you'd be upset. I thought I might have ruined your wedding film. But what a chuckle and a smile echoed through time is that in life, you can be firm about the most important things, but don't get so caught up in them that you forget who you are or who you love. What an empty camera revealed to me was a character I'm still trying to emulate in my life. You were not a perfect man, but I've seen this world make worse men of better circumstances, so I especially appreciate our conversations. You tell me I don't need to be perfect. I only need to do my best, and the rest is material for God to work with. The other day, I talked with a friend about a loved one who had parted. On the news, it seems so many are passing. Grief has replaced our laughter, and in all this, I realize I'm not ready to lose my father. This thought surfaces on days when I remember some things in life really are inevitable, like a toddler getting taller or my brother losing a tooth. The bittersweetness of growing up is your parents growing old too. My friend tells me losing a parent is like losing a piece of your heart that you never get back. She tells me the key is not even attempting to make it better, but to keep on loving, so that although the missing piece remains, the love around it will compensate in space. And this is how we continue life without the ones who taught us to live. Still, I'm afraid of living without my father. I am afraid of the man I might become, that I'll break in a way that can't be resolved. I worry about my mom and how she would respond about my brother, and if they talked enough. Not a lot of my friends had fathers growing up. Not a lot of us know what we have until we don't. I am often late in saying what matters most, but I don't want to wish I said the things I could have now, so I say them now, Dad. I think you're the smartest man on earth. You aren't perfect, but no one is in this world. What I respect more is that you try to be a better man than who you were when you first began, for the meekness with which you wield the power in your hand, your willingness to give away everything you have, knowing that what you give freely, God will give back. You introduced us to God, not by force, but through your life. I couldn't find him in a building, but nowadays I see him in your eyes, how they light up at the opportunity to help someone else, in your smile, how it reassures an anxious heart with a kindness that reminds me God is kinder than my thoughts let on. I hear him in your voice, how your words dance across grace without compromising truth. And for all this and more, I want to say thank you, Dad, for being a father in a fatherless world, for keeping your heart soft and your hands hard at work for the dreams your kids might live out someday, for letting us dream, for the time you spend waiting for us to come around and the hand you extend still when we don't. I know that in due time you'll see the other side, and I'll continue in whatever God has left for me in this life, but I don't worry. I won't worry. I know that I'll be all right. You've shared enough wisdom with me to keep me for a lifetime. You've said enough to help me smile till the clouds subside and I arrive where angels stopped crying a long time ago. I hope God lets us rewatch our lives so I can play mine and yours side by side and say, look, Dad, so can I.